Hi, and welcome to Lunch with Lisa. And today we're gonna make turkey meatloaf with fennel. It's Lunch with Lisa. Hi, I'm Lisa, and I make quick and easy healthy meals. The same meals I used to lose 33 pounds in just 4 months. I went from this to this. And I'm here to share with you just how quick and easy it is to make healthy meals right at home. I want to put something quick and easy on your plate. So join me today as we make some turkey meatloaf with fennel. Two things I never thought I would say. So fennel is my nemesis. I've always hated it, but I am challenging myself this year to eat more dishes with fennel in it. So when I saw this turkey meatloaf with fennel, I kind of didn't want to do it. I put it aside. It was kind of serendipitous. I had some excess fennel left over. I ended up going and buying some new fennel because that fennel had gone bad. But I also had some Napa cabbage left over from another recipe I did, and I had all the ingredients. Let's go over what those are. For this recipe, you're going to need 2 pounds of ground turkey. I have 1 pound of ground turkey and 1 pound of chicken. We'll see what this is going to be like. So feel free to substitute. Napa cabbage, green onion, toasted pine nuts, or if you can't find pine nuts, raw cashews, smoked paprika, salt, fresh ground black pepper, 2 bulbs of fennel, some chicken stock, and grated Parmesan cheese. For cooking, you're going to need a cutting board, a bowl, some parchment paper, a pan for meatloaf or a cookie sheet, a saute pan for the fennel or a frying pan, and a burner on your stove. The first thing you're going to do is preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, in a large mixing bowl, which I have here, this is an awesome mixing bowl I just got. I love it. It's nice and heavy, and you can find it on my Amazon store now. Link is down below. I'm gonna dump my ground turkey and this ground chicken I have too. It's bruschetta style. This will be interesting. I bought this to make my chicken crust pizza, which you can find right here. So I'm just gonna dump the meat into the bowl. Bing. Y'all, this is gonna make the meatloaf taste better. I always like to have a little trash bag sitting around that I can stick stuff into while I'm cooking. That way I don't have to keep going to the trash can. So I'm gonna slice up 3 cups of my Napa cabbage. Here, I'm just gonna take the leaves off. That way I can save the rest. Ooh, this will be fun. So to chop this, I'm just gonna cut long strips and then chop it up. And then we're gonna whack at it. One cup, 2. Let's see how I was with the eyeballing. You know how your dudes are with the eyeballing. No, I'll eyeball everything. And 3. We're gonna mince 2 green onions, but yeah, these are kind of small, so I'm just gonna do all 4 and chop off the ends because they were kind of getting bad. Since they're just minced instead of chopped, I'm gonna go ahead and run my knife through them a couple more times. And what I like to do to chop faster is I hold my hand down on one end of my knife, and then I can pivot on that point. And holding in that spot kind of keeps it steady. It's good for when you want to chop nuts or mince onion or garlic. That's in the bowl. And I'm making a huge mess. I mean, it's everywhere. Instead of pine nuts, I'm using cashews because 1, they were cheaper at the store, and 2, I can use them in more things and munch on them all day long. Pine nuts I'm not very partial to, but cashews are a good substitute for pine nuts because they don't take over the dish. So don't use something like peanuts to substitute if you can't find pine nuts at the store. Do cashews. And I'm gonna roughly chop these up, but you think pine nuts are real tiny and you wanna chop those, so these you might wanna chop a little bit smaller than a rough chop. But I roasted them on 350 for about 5 minutes in my, this onion, roasted them, I roasted them in my air fryer for about 5 minutes on 350. And they got toasty pretty fast. And then you let them cool down so they're not so squishy. Oh, they smell so good. All right, so we're just using 1/4 of a cup, but I like nuts, so I always chop more than I need. It's 1/4 of a cup, right? And then these I can munch on or sprinkle on top or use in something else, like my dessert tonight. Okay, so to the bowl of turkey, Napa cabbage, and your pine nuts or cashews, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of paprika. Smoked paprika, y'all, so good. The recipe has 1 teaspoon of salt, but you're gonna only use 3/4 of a teaspoon for this part. And I found my 3/4 teaspoon spoon. And this is kosher salt, so I do a heaping and a little. And then 1/2 teaspoon of your fresh ground black pepper. And I'm just gonna grind it till I think it's 1/2 teaspoon. Now we get to mix this up. Yes. I'm so glad I have this giant mixing bowl, you guys. It's so much easier than what I was using before, which was not a giant mixing bowl. And this one's so sturdy. I love it. Ooh, this looks so healthy. Get all those spices incorporated. Smells so good. The directions say to line a cookie sheet with a piece of parchment paper and shape it into a 7x4 loaf. Why do that when you have a loaf pan? Now this is an old one that I've had forever, so don't judge me. It's dirty. It's not dirty, it's just the looks dirty. So I'm gonna do some pre-folds. No need to be super picky about this. There we go. I'm sure you could use foil too, but parchment paper has become my friend. I am friends with it. I love it. I keep using it. I'm gonna dump this all into my bread pan, my loaf pan. Surprised there's not any egg in this. It's just straight up meat. Definitely a meat loaf. This is my tribute to Meatloaf. A meatloaf for Meatloaf. May you rest in peace, Meatloaf, wherever you are. Now our meatloaf is ready to go into that 400-degree oven for 30 minutes until the internal temperature is 165 degrees. All right, now while that is cooking, we're going to start on our fennel. So I gave these a quick wash. I'm gonna cut off the green stems. But I don't wanna throw them out because I wanna save the fronds, at least some of them. We're gonna use those later. Okay, so I'm gonna cut these in half lengthwise. We're gonna get rid of this core right down here. Do you see it? See that lovely core? See? We're gonna 1/4 that, and then we're gonna cut that little core right out. Oh, just like that. Now I have my pan all nice and hot. We're gonna sear our fennel. So I need to oil my pan. Just a light spray. So I just want to sear all sides until it's nice and brown. Then I'm going to add the chicken stock and salt and pepper and cover it and let it cook for 5 minutes until it gets nice and soft. See, it's getting a nice sear on it. Some of them are breaking up, it's not a big deal. Woo! Okay, I guess that's enough burning. I'm going to put 3/4 of a cup of the chicken broth. Some salt, and some pepper. Lid on, cook for 5 minutes, and I will be back. Okay, it's been 5 minutes, and I'm gonna remove the lid and let the liquid cook off while I add the Parmesan cheese. It took about 10 minutes or so for all the liquid to burn off. I'm gonna add my 2 tablespoons Parmesan cheese. Oh, that smells good. And then I pulled off and chopped the fronds from the ends. I'm gonna add that in there and mix it around and pull it off the heat so it doesn't burn. Never thought I would like the smell of cooking fennel, but when you add all this stuff to it, why you wouldn't? Our meatloaf has about 5 more minutes left to go, and then I'm gonna pull it out and plate it up and taste it. All right, I just pulled the turkey meatloaf out of the oven. Look at that. It's so delicious. Smells so good. I almost poured it all out on myself. Look at that. And it shrunk away from the sides so I can just slice it up. This serves 4, so that's gonna be a lot of food. Yes. All right, you guys, since I cooked it in a meatloaf pan, I think it cooked a lot slower. So I'm gonna stick this back in the oven for a little bit longer than 30 minutes. Maybe give it about 10 more minutes or so because it has not reached temperature yet and it's still raw in the middle. Yeah, who knew? So if you use a bread loaf pan, make sure you cook it just a little bit longer than 30 minutes and really invest in a thermometer that you can read the temperature because it was only getting up to like not even 140 yet. And that isn't even rare. So you definitely want it to be hotter than that. I'm glad I didn't eat it. Okay, the meatloaf is finally done. I had to do 15 extra minutes. Not a big deal. Just throw it back in the oven. Mistakes? What mistakes? It's learning experiences. Yes, 165. Woo! Okay, now I won't die when I eat this thing. It's already split up into fourths. Definitely feels a lot more solid than it did before. Look at that. Oh yeah, totally cooked. I'm gonna plate it up. Yum-y. My son may or may not eat this. I'm sure he will. I love ketchup on meatloaf, so I made some ketchup just to be sure. I'm gonna link the recipe I used right below. And instead of tomatoes, y'all, I just used a can of tomato sauce. And then I mixed in all the spices that were optional in the recipe. And especially the bottom one, I didn't use whatever sugar or sweetener that was. I used monk fruit sweetener. This ketchup is so good. What? Apple cider vinegar gives it a little kick instead of like fish sauce or something. Okay, so a quarter of these. Doesn't seem like much veggies. I guess there's veggies in this. So I'm gonna plate this up. I guess I could slice this again. Okay, now this is a huge mess. I am usually not this messy. Today, I don't know what happened. Mercury is in retrograde. I'm filming this right near the end of January. It's all crazy out there. Right? So let's taste this. Just as is. You guys, this is so good. Wow. Okay. I hated fennel before. I guess I've never really cooked it right. Let's see. Oh my God, I actually swallowed it. Normally I would spit that out. That is so good. I can't say I hate fennel now. What? Okay, here's where you guys need to comment and tell me what foods you hate so I can find a new food to hate, because I don't know if I hate any food at all now. Fennel was the one thing I had to hate. I don't have anything to hate anymore. I like, what the hell? No, I can't say it. I like fennel. Do y'all have a food that you hate? Please comment down below, what food do you hate? I hated fennel. Now I don't hate fennel. I don't know what I hate now. I need a new food. Wow. Y'all, I did not expect this to taste so good. I was really worried about this recipe. I kind of want to try some ketchup on it though. I had a great aunt. I have a great aunt. I think she's still alive. Oh my God. Who hated that I put ketchup on everything? But I was a kid. That's what kids do. My son used to put ketchup on his grapes. Gross. Okay. It doesn't really necessarily have to join the party, but I'm not gonna hate ketchup. Especially this homemade ketchup. It's pretty dang good. Y'all, make this recipe, do it now, go run. Do it for Valentine's Day, your honey will love you. This is delicious and it's so much food and it's so filling. If you like what you see and you wanna help support me, there are multiple ways you can do it. You can shop at my Amazon links down below. They're good for 24 hours. You can link to Amazon and just shop away. It doesn't have to even be the thing that's linked there. So, thank you for helping. And you can buy me a coffee at coffee.com/lunchwithlisa or join my Patreon. You can watch episodes a week before they come out. Usually I try to get them out a week ahead. Patreon.com/lunchwithlisa. And of course, share the video with everybody that you know who could use a healthy, delicious recipe that's quick and easy. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the flip side. It's Lunch with Lisa. Oh my God, y'all. This is such a simple recipe too. I mean, you saw that there were hardly any ingredients. Oh, Napa cabbage. There was a ton of that in this thing. That's awesome, y'all. Veggie packed, delicious. Go run, make this thing. The chicken might have made it even better. I don't know. If you can find the bruschetta, not bruschetta. If you can find bruschetta chicken, get it. It makes the best pizza crust, I swear. Wow. Now, the real testament to this is if my child eats it. I will be amazed. I mean, I'm sure he will. He actually likes all the food I make. Huh. Hey, don't forget to stick around for some bloopers. Smoked paprika. Paprika. First thing you're going to want to do is preheat your oven to 44. Preheat your, oh yeah. Ground turkey. Go. It's been a day. Trying to do this during Mercury in retrograde and Venus in retrograde. What am I thinking? Thinking I need to do some YouTube videos. Okay, so we're just using, wait. Ooh, okay, Zevia on check. And we're gonna sear our fennel fronds. Fennel. We're gonna sear our fennel. Olive liquid, bleh. So if you use a bread loaf pan, I swear I have so many clips for this one video. Quick, I don't know about easy. What the fronds? Have y'all seen that parrot video? When that parrot's like, what the hilarious. Oh, I did not have this lit up. That's my problem. Okay. Knew I was in the dark. Okay.